I think comedy kind of comes out of discomfort. Like a lot of comedy comes out of conflict and discomfort. And enforced together time with your family is really uncomfortable and filled with conflict. So I think that there's kind of an organic potential for humor in kind of like mandated family time. And so this occasion of death, which is inherently sad, does end up being kind of this potential trigger for conflict, discomfort, and therefore funny stuff. I read this novel by Jonathan Tropper 5 years ago, and I loved it. And at the time, I was doing like the Night at the Museum movies and Date Night and kind of some bigger, broader comedic stuff. And I knew as soon as I read this book that this was a movie I needed to make. I knew it was the story I had to tell. It resonated for me in ways that were both comedic and deeply moving. And thus began like a 5 year campaign, waiting, watching while the movie almost got made by other people, waiting for that moment where it would be a free ball, like, basically like a football coming out of a fumble, and I would just pounce on it. And that happened. And I just kind of knew that there was something in the blend of humanity and warmth and humor that rang true for me and that I felt I could serve as well as a storyteller. What's interesting is that it's a movie about death that is really about the return to life of this Judd protagonist. That, something in the loss of his dad, the loss of his marriage, the return to the people who know him best, it actually saves Judd's life. He starts the movie broken, and he leaves the movie kind of redeemed and kind of reassembled in a different way and reconnected to his better self. Which, again, having been through Shivas in my life, they're sad, they're uncomfortable. It's challenging being under one roof with your siblings and your parents and your family. But these are the people who knew you before life had its way with you. These are the people who knew you when you were nothing but potential you. And there's something about reconnecting with that is, yeah, it's uncomfortable and it's often awkward and it's even unpleasant, but it kind of reroutes you in the people who love you arguably most and the people who know you arguably best. And in so doing is kind of redemptive. And so really it's kind of a movie about a guy who weathers the death of a marriage, the death of a parent, but is kind of reborn through the process, which I know sounds lofty, but really is very much what the journey of this character in this movie is about. What was really unique about this movie is we were in this house together for the better part of a month. Nobody went to their trailers. Nobody went back to base camp. We hung out together as a family. And when we weren't shooting, we were upstairs in the master bedroom, lying on the bed together, talking either about the scene or about life. And there was this beautiful kind of modesty to the scale of the movie that enforced a togetherness in the making of the movie, which really comes across in the experience of the movie. There's really kind of a bondedness, I think, in this feeling of family, and that's because we were all under one roof making the movie, and I'm so happy it worked out that way. I can't speak for all families, but I think the Altmans, like many a family, are loving, contentious. They deflect emotion with sarcasm and logistics, but they're deeply loyal to each other. And even though there's a lot of snark and a lot of sharp wit, when the chips are down, they stand by each other and they bolster each other and hold each other up. We all know Jason Bateman is unbelievably sharp-witted and funny. But when I sat down with him on this, I said, look, I'm gonna draw on all your comedic chops, but I need something more. I need a willingness to go places emotionally that you haven't gone to in other movies. And he was down for that. He was challenged by that. And he goes places in this movie that we haven't seen him go. And this is a guy we've seen on screen for 30 years? And yet this is unprecedented work by Jason Bateman, and he's proud of it, and I am so grateful for it because it's the heart and soul of the movie.